Thanks, Paul, for such a nice welcome. It's actually very special to be in Bangalore because I went to school in Bangalore. I was a student at St. Joseph's and Bishop Cotton's many years back. It's amazing to see what's happened to Old Madras Road. It's just amazing. So I'm Bengali but brought up in Bangalore, so that makes me a bang bong. So fake in all ways. But it's really nice to be back home. Before I get started, I want to actually thank the local team here, Alok, Paul, all the folks who put this together. They spent a lot of time to actually make this a very successful conference, and so I'd like to take the opportunity and thank them. So let's give them a big hand. All right, so I'm going to talk about Google Custom Search, but before we get started, I just wanted to get a feel for how many of you have actually heard of Custom Search. So show of hands. Okay, very good. So that's nice. And, so hopefully today, after my presentation, you will learn more about some of the details that you probably are not already aware of. And please feel free to stop me at any given point in time during the presentation, make it interactive, and we can go from there. So what is Google Custom Search? Google Custom Search basically offers you the ability to take the Google platform in your hands, and we'll talk about that. So Google Custom Search allows anybody, you, publishers, bloggers, websites, organizations, businesses, to basically leverage the Google search platform that we've created. It's a very highly scalable, very high precision system that we've created, and you can then create a very customized search experience on your own website, targeting your audience, targeting your content, your topics of interest, your expertise. So the way I think of it, I kind of like to draw this analogy with pizza. So I see now there's lots of nice pizza places here, and in fact some of the some of my friends told me to actually try out this Murg Malai Tikka Masala. That was pretty good actually. It's fantastic. So all these flavors that have come out here, it's just amazing. But think of the whole pizza as being google.com. Right? So when you're actually searching across the internet, that's really what google.com offers you. What Custom Search offers you is a little different. In the US, it's very common for people to actually take pizza by the slice. So you walk into the mall and then you might be in the mood for a little bit of chicken and maybe a little bit of Hawaiian pizza. So actually you buy 2 slices. So Custom Search is like that. You take the slices of pizza that you want and you offer that to your consumers, right? So take that to your website. These are the slices of pizza you care about, and you put the toppings you like, and you customize it even further, right? You want it really hot, you can add some more peppers and jalapenos, and you basically then customize that for your dinner, right? So Custom Search is like that. So it's built on top of Google Search, so you get all the benefits of Google Search, the great ranking, the great relevance, the scalability, the uptime, the latency, the speed, fantastic. And on top of that, you then customize it a little bit further. You create your slice of the index, if you will, and you can boost ranking. You can say, okay, I want these sites to actually rank a little higher because these are my sites, or these are important on my site. And you can also customize the presentation. So we have controls over look and feel, over colors, and the way your site looks. And because you're embedding the search experience into your own website, we give you those controls. And that allows you to embed the search experience for your customers on your website. So that is the analogy that I'd like you to take back. You know what you want. You know what your users want. Custom Search offers you this great platform, allows you to customize it further, and offer it to your customers. So again, just to reiterate, in terms of getting information, all you need to remember is www.google.co.in/CSE. CSE standing for Custom Search Engine. I often refer to that acronym. So if I say CSE, that's what I'm talking about. But the value proposition actually extends both for you as an individual or an organization, as well as your community, which is the searchers. So on the left-hand side, you basically have you, the webmaster, or you, the organization. Oops. So you harness the power of Custom Search, you create an experience for your users, you search enable your website, you invite your friends, members of the community to contribute. So that's another feature, which is that you can actually have a collaborative model where multiple people in your organization or in your community can actually contribute and make your search experience better over time. And very important also to the success of the product and to the customers is that you can make money from the resulting traffic. So you can monetize that search traffic on your website. Custom search has been an extremely successful product over the last couple of years. We have over 1 million registered custom search engines. So if you don't have a custom search engine on your site, and if you haven't played with it, I strongly recommend that you at least get familiar with the product. It's very easy to use, and then you can create a search experience in minutes, literally minutes. On the searcher side of things, this is your community, the users that are coming to your website. They find information easily at the source. For them, the search is contextual. They are at your site, they are looking for a specific amount of information or specific topic of information. Your site offers that, so the search is contextual around that topic. And I'll talk a little bit more in depth about context and why that's important. And of course, as I said, as part of the community, they can also contribute back to the engine if you've enabled that. So at a high level, let me talk about why you need to look at using Google Custom Search. Why use Google Custom Search? Very important point. In fact, a couple of the examples that Adam used during his clinic, I noticed that they have a little structured search, but they don't have a generic search, an open free text search option on their website. And I've seen this across a lot of websites, even in India, where you don't have a search box on the front page. The reason that's really becoming important is people are getting used to using search as a way to navigate. The moment you have more than 10, 15, 20, 30 pages, and of course if you have thousands of pages, search is mandatory. But even if you have a reasonably small site, search is becoming a very common way for people to find information. You know, the web is moving so fast, people have very little time on their hands. They want to be able to find information very, very quickly. So they're always looking for the search box. I mean, when I go to a site, if I don't see something that I'm looking for on the, in the first couple of, a few seconds, I'm looking for the search box. So because of the popularity of search engines, people have gotten used to looking at search as a way to navigate. So if you have a website, in addition to navigation, you want to have people have the ability to search across your website. Search can be, as I said, integrated in minutes, literally minutes, using the look and feel of your own site. Better user retention via targeted search. We've seen cases where customers have actually adopted custom search over some proprietary software, and overnight they've seen large increases in the number of searches. And when I say number of searches, number of successful searches, you're also talking about people staying on your site longer, finding the information and accessing the content on your site longer. So if you're monetizing your content using Adsense for content, that's also going to be benefited by high quality search. And user retention is very important. And the other important value proposition that custom search offers out of the box is relevance. A lot of people have said we've spent months tuning our proprietary search engine for quality and relevance, but the moment we've turned on custom search, we've seen fantastic quality of results out of the box. The reason for that is very clear. We sit on top of the Google index, and Google takes into account all the great ranking, page rank, anchor text, etc. on the web. So even though you're searching only a small domain of websites, the relevance that we are computing is built on top of the Google algorithms. So out of the box, even without any tuning at all, or even without boosting or using some of the advanced features of custom search, you get really high quality relevance. And lots of organizations try it and immediately say, wow, this is so much better than what we've already spent 6 months developing. So you have to really give it a shot and look to see how it works for your site. Better click-through rates and conversions on your site. I will talk a little bit about some of the interesting experiments around ad click rates and RPMs as well for some of the use cases that we've seen. There are some significant increases that you can actually drive through certain features in custom search. Enhanced indexing. There were a couple of questions where we talked about my site has so many pages, but only a small subset of those pages has been indexed by Google. Now we understand that that could be a problem for certain sites. But when you're doing site search on your own site, or you're trying to carve out a specific section of the index for searching, we know that you need to go deeper. Because when you have your own pages and you're providing search on your own site, you absolutely want to search all those pages. So to address that specific need, custom search actually has enhanced indexing. So we actually have a separate custom search index for our CSEs. And we also, at the end of last year, created a new feature that we refer to as on-demand indexing. Because we understand that when you're launching a new product, you want people to be able to find that on your own site search. So you have the ability through on-demand indexing to actually give us a portion of your site, of your URLs, and we will actually index it into your custom search engine within 24 hours. So that's a very powerful feature, and we have had fantastic feedback once we launched this, because people really found that they wanted that kind of control over their own site search. Features, several features are available that you may or may not be aware of. We have features like labels, and I'll talk about that. Synonyms, you have the ability to actually add synonyms for your domain-specific sites. Now this is very important because synonyms on a worldwide basis may actually not apply, or maybe you may actually have very specific synonyms on top of what people normally use for acronyms for your specific business or industry, or specific terms that you use on your website. Date biasing, we actually have the ability for you to actually control the ordering of results by date, in addition to the other custom search boosts that we have provided. And you have the ability to promote specific results. So for example, if you're a travel site, I've heard of some questions about travel sites, you might actually want to promote specific things right on top for specific queries, right? So this, we have the ability for you using key matches to actually promote specific things for specific queries. And these may not even be URLs. This may just be information that you might want to provide. As I said, you can monetize with relevant ads. And when I say relevant ads, we've actually added some features by which you can actually add keywords to your search engine. So for example, if it's a travel site or a travel search engine, you can actually add travel-specific keywords, travel, flights, hotels, etc. And those might actually help you tune your ads to the topic of your search engine. We have advanced APIs, customization, various branding options. I had a question today at lunch. Somebody was asking me, how can I adopt custom search but actually have control over the branding, because it's my company and I want to actually have control over branding. We actually have offerings around the custom search platform which gives you control over branding and over further customization. You can actually get your results in XML format. You can do much more presentation control over that. And we have tech support as well with the site search. The Google site search product is effectively built on top of the custom search platform. And very important, last but not least, it's integrated with the Google platform. As I said, the relevance, the goodness of search quality that we heard about this morning actually comes through right away in custom search. So it's integrated with Google search on top of the Google platform, but also with webmaster tools and sitemaps. So when I talk about enhanced indexing or the on-demand index, the sitemaps is the mechanism that we basically use to get the information in as to what URLs you think are high priority, what URLs do you want to index in the next 24 hours for on-demand indexing. The same sitemap mechanism is offered to you, and you just do this once. You go to Webmaster Tools, you submit the sitemap, and you indicate to us which sitemap you would want to use for on-demand indexing. You don't have to do additional work and submit anything specific for custom search. Okay, so I want to spend a little bit of time around context, because I want you to think about what context makes sense for when you're trying to create a website or a search experience. So I think of this as kind of going from a small sphere of influence to a much larger sphere of influence. So you, your community, and your world. So what does it mean? Like, I have a blog. I have when I think about my personal world, I think of my blog, my bookmarks, my search history, my friends, their sites that they're interested in, and potentially some search results that I might have bookmarked, etc. So that's basically my world, and I can create a search experience around this. There are actually features in custom search, specifically a feature called linked custom search engines, which allow me to actually dynamically create a search engine that changes over time. So I'll talk about that when I talk about the blogger widget. But basically, you can actually create a search engine around a bunch of links that actually can change over time. And the system can actually update it for you automatically. So that's one sphere of influence. If you go to the next step, you're talking about enhancing or expanding that sphere of influence. So what are the topics of interest? So for example, I'm a big soccer fan, football fan, and so I like to find out information about what's happening across the world of football. So I actually have created a little search engine that searches across a bunch of high quality football sites. And so that's kind of my topic of interest, if you will. It's a little beyond me, but I can actually share it with friends who actually are also interested in football. Communities can create these kinds of search engine experiences. There are lots of communities that have actually done this, and I'll talk about one of them, which is very powerful, which is the Adobe Help community. Groups, when you have different groups of people, they can collect information. A very good example of this was actually during the earthquake in China. A bunch of Googlers actually got together over 2 days, and they spent a lot of time to put together a bunch of sites and create a search engine around them to be able to find lost, there were lots of bulletin boards, etc., that were coming up where people are just looking for information about their, their family and friends, and they just put together search across these sites. And even if that helped a few people over those, over the next week, I think they had, hundreds of thousands of hits on that search engine, and maybe that resulted in a few people finding, more information about their families. I think that was an outstanding effort in terms of communities and groups. And of course, as you deliver your products and services to customers, they are your community. So as a business, as an organization, as a government, you actually have a much larger community that you're catering to. In fact, there are several government sites that I've seen in India which have a lot of content and no search box. It's just mind-blowing that we don't have search boxes on some of these very heavy content-rich sites. And of course, your business, you want to actually be able to offer your services and have people find them. That's your community. And then you go to the next kind of set, which is your world of information, right? This can be, based on country. For example, a bunch of Bollywood sites that, are relevant to, a much larger community in the country, or by language. You can actually go across countries, but by language. So for example, Spanish is spoken in several countries, but you can actually have Spanish-related custom search engines that actually span geographical boundaries. What I'm trying to make here is that you should think about what your services are, who your communities are, and what kind of search experience you want to create. It does not have to be restricted to the specific site that you manage or that you are on. So for example, you might have sister sites, you might have partner sites, you might have a conglomerate that actually has multiple brands. So you can actually very easily create a very comprehensive search experience once you know the communities that you're catering to. So just to drive home the fact, here's some examples. So where I'm claiming that custom search gives you the tools necessary to create a very contextual search. So during the Beijing Olympics, these are slightly dated screenshots, but they make the point. So if you did a search for Bolt, this was around the time of the Olympics, there was exactly one result, I think the last one here, on Usain Bolt, who was obviously huge at the Olympic Games. But that's what I would call a generic search result. Now this is not irrelevant, because at that point in time, people who are looking on google.com, this is over time, based on what people are looking for, the feedback and the log analysis, etc., page rank, etc. Those are really the relevant results that the algorithms have determined. But if you look at somebody who's coming to the Olympics site, right, they are really looking, they're already directing their context, right? You know that they are the Olympic site and they're looking for a specific set of information. So what Google did at that point in time was they also had a landing page for the Olympic Games. And on that landing page, we created a custom search engine. And on that search engine, if you did the same search for Bolt, you can see very easily that it basically filters right into the topic of interest, which is all about Usain Bolt. And a similar example was during the elections, just prior to the elections. If you did a search on google.com for nuclear power, you get a very high quality set of results, general information about nuclear power. But again, Google had a landing page for the elections, and when you did a search for nuclear power on that specific landing page, you actually got some very interesting editorialized kind of content about the policies across the different candidates around nuclear power. So what was Obama thinking about nuclear power? What was McCain thinking about nuclear power? So that gives you a much quicker answer because you're on a specific topic of interest, and that's the context. Now what they've also done is they added this, these are the labels that I was talking about. So very simply, you can actually annotate the specific websites or patterns. Actually, custom search uses patterns. You can actually identify specific labels with these patterns. So then you can then drill down. So for example, if I'm interested in what's happening at the conventions around nuclear power, are there any rallies being held? You can just drill down into that specific label and restrict your search by that label. So that's another interesting feature that you might want to think about, because if you've organized or categorized your content, you might be able to provide that categorization information to your users. Whoops. That wasn't me. So that should be what context means for you. So a few examples of custom search in India. Whenever I come to India, I love to catch up on the latest, in terms of Bollywood, as well as sometimes, try to see how the cricket team is doing, because whenever I watch, they lose. It's kind of amazing. Of course, I did watch that the two Pathan brothers do that wonderful innings a couple of weeks back. But here's a search engine which actually gives you information about guitar chords. They've actually conglomerated across a bunch of music sites. So if you search for information on specific songs, you get lyrics information as well as chords information around specific songs. Here's another site that one of my colleagues alerted me to. This is an opinion site in India, and here again you can get great reviews around the latest movies. And so I was actually interested in this movie, Dilli 6. I'm not sure what the cool way of saying it is, but unfortunately I didn't have the time to actually catch the movie, but we'll do it back home. And CricBuzz, which is one of the cricket sites in India, also provides and actually uses the labels as well that I talked about. A bunch of cricket sites, information around cricket. So this should give you an idea of some of the things you can do, but think about what you are trying to offer to your users and where custom search could play a role. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of step into more of the product. Custom search, I keep referring to the custom search platform, and the reason is that it really is a platform. We've actually delivered custom search in various ways to customers, and I'll talk about some of these various spokes. And as I do that, instead of talking about specific product features, I'll try to highlight some of the features of the product or how you can do things with the custom search administration console and show you in the context of these specific implementations. So the platform, as I said, is offered in various ways. So think of it being available to users, individuals, webmasters, bloggers. A lot of bloggers have actually adopted custom search, and you have universities, nonprofits, governments. Actually, some pretty large governments actually have adopted. When I say large governments, state governments in the US are also pretty large entities. Many of them have actually adopted custom search, and there have been some announcements on that as well, including some national government organizations. Then we have this category of syndication partners. These are the large publishers and large publishing houses which actually send a lot of traffic to custom search, but they actually want more customization, more presentation controls, and they typically get the results in XML format. And these are the people who also typically monetize their traffic very heavily. So they are really Adsense partners, if you will. So that's a category, for example, About.com, IDG, New York Times, they actually use custom search as well. And businesses and governments, most of these entities typically don't want to show ads. They want to have more branding controls, and they typically go into the Google Site Search product offering. And so, for example, the UK Parliament, NASA, eHealth Insurance, which is an insurance company in the US, basically use the Site Search product, and as I said, they have much more controls and also get tech support. New class of applications, search-enabled applications. For those of you who are not aware, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, but Adobe has actually adopted custom search in a very, very innovative fashion, and I'll talk about that. I have some screenshots as well. And then eventually application developers. A lot of our developers actually do very innovative things with custom search. So if you look at companies like Topical and Legit, they actually offer, again, take advantage of some of the cutting edge features of custom search, like dynamic search engines, which, creating basically a sphere of influence around you and creating a search engine around you for your friend, using your friends' links, your blogs, your Facebook accounts, etc. They've done some very interesting things around custom search. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to these examples and I'm going to show you and highlight. I'm not going to go through an exhaustive list of features. You can go to the website and get familiar with it and get a lot of the information there. But let me just highlight a few things that might be of interest. So here's my personal blog, and the point I wanted to make here is that you don't have to write a line of code to actually get a customized search experience on your blog. So specifically what happens is we have a blogger widget that you can configure with a couple of clicks. And what that offers is a specific gadget that oops, every time I click the stop button at the bottom. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so okay. No, there's something wrong with it. Inline using the Ajax Search API, and you can just cross them out if you don't want the search results and continue reading the blog. Now the point of this is that it's again very easy to configure this. So this is the search box widget that is available for bloggers to use on blogger.com, and it's very easy. It's no code to be written. It's just click 2 clicks and you're off and running. This again, just to reiterate, this uses a very advanced feature of custom search, which is linked custom search engines. Why this is relevant is that you're not just searching your blog posts, but you're actually automatically searching. Custom search actually extracts all the links that you've created. Universities, the Colorado State University is an example of a university that's adopted this, and what I wanted to point out here is the customized look and feel. If you have certain brand colors on your site, you can very easily in minutes offer the search results in the specific colors of your site. And the way you do this is a very WYSIWYG kind of editor. You just select the specific colors and you see the changes right away, and you preview and you're done. It just takes seconds to do this. Again, information on custom search in general, google.com/CSE. You'll get all the information about the features as well as pointers to various resources. And the resource site that these folks have put up for the search, what is the site? India SearchMasters. IndiaSearchMasters.com actually has a resources site page which has a bunch of links that you can also look at. So in terms of syndication partners, many of these partners actually, as I said, monetize. So I wanted to focus on a couple of things here. So here you have, of course, IDG owns Macworld, which is a very powerful brand around Mac and Apple products. And obviously they use ads. And I wanted to talk about ads and keywords, but also labels. So they've used effectively, very effectively, they've used labels. So they've created, for example, various views on what's popular. So iPhone and iPod, for example, are very popular categories. So they've created those categories on the at the top level, but also otherwise, reviews and blogs, etc. So they can actually direct users to what they're looking for. So in terms of ads, to actually configure ads, if you already have an Adsense account, configuring that Adsense account into a custom search engine is trivial. You just go into the Make Money tab and you just associate your Adsense account with your custom search engine, and from that point in time, your searches are monetized and you get a rev share with Google on these clicks, on these ad clicks. In terms of refinements, again, it's a very simple interface. You create a refinement, you define the patterns that map to that refinement, and you can manage these refinements. Now, for those of you who are interested in more details on ads and AdSense for search, you can go to google.com/ and by the way, you can go to google.co.in as well. It's an equivalent URL /AdSense/AFS. AFS standing for AdSense for search, as opposed to AdSense for content, which is typically content ads. Businesses and governments typically use use Google site search. And one feature that I wanted to point out here, and this is eHealth Insurance, which is a site search customer, but one of the features that they have adopted is, let me talk about a few of them. So as I said, branding is optional with the site search product. So if they wanted to drop the Google custom search branding or the Google branding, they are able to do so. And they typically license the product, and there's a whole bunch of pricing options that I can talk about. Ads optional, so they can actually drop ads because they don't want users potentially to leave their site. They want to stay, keep them on their site. Key matches. Key matches is what I was talking about when I said promotions. So specifically, when you're looking for things like long-term insurance or health insurance, they might want to promote specific products right to the top of the search results, and that's what we refer to as key matches. And with site search, you actually get the results back in XML format. So then you have more control over how you might want to actually deliver the results. And in fact, Knoll, that was also referred to by Adam, Knoll also uses custom search, and you can see that their results are very highly customized, and they provide a lot of metadata and mappings on the rendering side. And again, creating these key matches is pretty trivial. It's again a very simple editor. You basically define the keywords that you want to trigger on. I'm trying very hard not to hit the red button. And you have the title that you want to provide, and specifically the lines of text or the summary or snippet that you want to provide. as well as an optional URL. So as I said, it doesn't even have to actually be a page that you drive people to, although that's typically what we recommend. Now for information on pricing options and what site search offers you in terms of the XML results format, etc., ads, the ads optional branding options, etc., you can go to google.com/site search, which is pretty easy. Applications. And as I said, Adobe has done some very interesting things, and I'll talk about that. So go back a bit. Okay, so what Adobe did was, how many of you here are familiar with Adobe applications? Developers. Okay, so that's quite a few of you. So Adobe, as you might know, actually has very powerful graphics tools and authoring tools, but also they have a fantastic community of developers. So a lot of Adobe sites, developer sites, actually have very rich content in terms of designs, in terms of tips, cheat sheets, tricks, templates, etc. So what Adobe did was they created this Adobe Community Help site. And what they did there was they actually took thousands of their top developers' sites, and they actually created a search experience around these developer sites. So in addition to the adobe.com content, they actually also offer you all this developer content and through this community help feature. What they then did was really exciting, was that they took this search experience and they actually embedded this in the Adobe applications in Creative Suite 4. So those of you who have actually upgraded to Creative Suite 4 will actually see these, I don't know if this is visible on the screen, but on the right hand side you see these embedded search boxes, and when you search within the application itself, you are actually taken to this very customized, very developer rich, you might find your tip that you're looking for right there type of experience. This is what I mean by contextual. This is very, very contextual. Within the application, they know you're in an Adobe application. They know you're in Flash, so they know what you're looking for. And they give you very, very targeted information around this community help search. And they've done this with Dreamweaver and all the applications in Creative Suite 4. So this is Illustrator. So if you have a publishing platform or an authoring content management platform that you work with, then this is a great vehicle for you to provide to your communities and your users an embedded search experience that makes sense for them. The Ajax API is actually a very powerful API. I showed you an instance of that on the Blogger widget, which is that inline experience. But the Ajax Search API actually gives you a lot of customization. If you really want to create a very customized search presentation model around the search results, then the Ajax API is something that you might want to look at. And the Ajax API allows you to basically create a very, very highly configurable look and feel around the results, and also a very, very Web 2.0 centric kind of experience around search. So as an example, this is Legit, which is a kind of a blogger kind of application as well around custom search, but they use the Ajax Search API to create this kind of tabbed look and feel. So you can actually click on the tabs are the refinements or the labels, so you can actually create a tab per label, and then you can actually drill down. Your drill down is immediately reflected by a click on a tab. And so they offer JSON APIs and JavaScript objects, and you can also monetize using ads. So if you are looking for a very highly configurable presentation model with a lot of interactivity, then the Ajax API offers this. And Ajax API has already got custom search built into it. All you need to provide is the ID of the search engine that you're trying to access. So I'm sorry I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you, but what I'm trying to kind of get across is that there are lots of options and lots of offerings, and you might need to figure out what is right for your organization. In terms of APIs, all the information around APIs is available on code.google.com, and there's APIs for Ajax Search as well as for custom search. Now developers actually, as I said, have done very interesting things with custom search, and I want to talk a little bit about the community aspect of custom search, because this is something that, for example, if you have a Bollywood type site, you might actually want to bring people in and discuss and create a community where people are contributing information around the sites. So this is specifically a company, I believe it's in Germany, that offers their users the ability to create topical search engines. And so you can see that a whole bunch of search engines have been created, and the search engines themselves are being rated. So now the search engine has become an entity on their site. And so that's one aspect of the community. But there's also another aspect of community that I wanted to focus on, which is that built into custom search, into the platform itself, is the ability for collaboration. So by definition, you as an organization can get multiple people in your organization to contribute to the search engine. So for example, if you're a business and you have multiple departments, you can have a few people from each department actually create and update their search engine for their department. So that's a feature that you might want to think about exploiting. So very quickly to recap what I've just told you, this is more of a sort of a platform sort of figure, and I don't want to confuse you, it's not very technical, but the point I wanted to make here, without pointing with the red button, is you have the Google Custom Search platform, which is built on top of the Google Index, which is on the left-hand side. In addition, we have the Custom Search Index, which gives you deeper and enhanced coverage, and also the On-Demand Index, which gives you more control over how frequently specific assets are crawled by the custom search sort of indexing pipeline. On top, you have these various offerings. You have site search for businesses, you have Adsense for monetization, and you have the Ajax API and the CSE APIs, which give you more control over presentation. On the right-hand side, you have the integration with webmaster tools. So specifically, sitemaps, which we've heard about, the XML sitemaps, is something that I strongly encourage you all to look at, not just from a point of view of getting google.com to understand more about your content, but also as you develop custom search engines, this is the mechanism that we recommend by which you get information into the custom search engines, indicate to us what's important, what should be crawled right away, and we have some controls that we offer you to make that possible. So sitemaps come in through webmaster tools, no difference, no change in what you do normally, and you just indicate to custom search what specific sitemaps you want us to look at for on-demand indexing, and things should work hopefully as designed, and things would be up and running on your website search within a matter of 24 hours. So again, just to quickly reiterate what I just talked about, we have site search, which is typically targeting businesses where ads are optional, branding is optional, you have XML result sets, and you have technical support. You have, for people who want to monetize their search, we're really talking about the Adsense/AFS product, basically the Adsense product. These are typically publishers who have very rich content, who want to monetize that search experience. This is where keeping your users on your site, being able to find the information, the pages that they're looking for, the content they're looking for, is very, very vital in terms of both your revenues as well as maintaining traffic on to your site. And here you basically get a rev share. If you have associated your AdSense account with a custom search engine, it's immediate, and you start getting sharing in the revenues on the ads as well. So there's a strong monetization model built into this for you, and you can create your results. Typically, many of them use the iframe model, which is that you just embed the iframe with the look and feel changes onto your site. But if you are a large partner, you can also get direct results in XML format. And then for developers, again, you might want to focus on some of these APIs that we offer, as well as the capabilities like linked custom search engines or dynamic custom search engines that we offer. So you have API/custom search, API/Ajax search, which might be very useful for you to play with, create some fantastic applications. And if you do that, please let us know on our user forums. We actually have a link right from our website on the custom search website, as well as on the resources page. Please let us know if you've created some interesting applications or if you have some challenges that we can help address. So before I finish, I just wanted to kind of run through a customer experience. This is eHealth Insurance, and this talks to why search is so important in terms of as a navigational tool.
Hi, my name is John Sloan, Vice President of Product Management of eHealthInsurance.com. eHealthInsurance.com is the leading online source of health insurance for individuals, families, and small businesses in the U.S. Our company was the first one to create an online shopping experience for the health insurance vertical. We were an early adopter of Google Site Search because we knew that Google Site Search is a product that consumers have come to expect to find when shopping online. So not having it was potentially costing us business. To demonstrate, here are two random website visitors, Chris and Austin. Both customers who want to know if short-term health insurance includes dental and vision benefits. Chris likes the look and feel of our website and wants to navigate through the links to get his answer. Austin, on the other hand, sees the search box right away and doesn't waste any time. our customers can really find our products and have access to relevant information. At the same time, with Google Site Search, we have been able to gather feedback from our customers. This feedback has been a great help to us to design our product roadmap. Chris is still navigating. Chris has also now found this information after 32 seconds. Pretty respectable, but certainly nothing close to the efficiency of Google Site Search. I hope you enjoy our demo. Test it out with your site and notice the difference.
I'll skip that one. Let me quickly talk a little bit about monetization and keywords. So this is some data from a specific large customer of ours where we did a case study. What I wanted to focus on here was a feature that we have in custom search that we have called keywords. So with every custom search engine that you define, you actually have the ability to provide specific keywords around the topic of your search engine. So for example, if your search engine is about football, you can actually in terms around football, soccer, football, goal, etc. And that defines the overall sort of set of keywords that define the topic of your search engine. What we specific CSE, we actually use those keywords as hints to actually either narrow down the topicality of the ads, or even look at other ads that might be viable in the auction. So this study, and I'll just go over a couple of these interesting kind of data sets that we've gotten from this specific case study. The first thing is that when they implemented, so they had a proprietary search solution that they had built in-house, and they switched that to custom search. So that's the context. Now, the moment they did that, the first thing they saw was, with CSE, they saw much shorter query length. So the query length actually was immediately shorter, 16% shorter than, well, 16% longer with with the proprietary solution. And the reason probably for that was, and the reason that they came up with for this was, they actually were able to find things faster with shorter keywords. I think they just found the search engine was behaving better in terms of relevance and finding the pages faster. And this was not that they were trying to do more queries, because actually what they found was that the total number of clicks on the results also went up. So earlier, not the number, the total number of actually, we also measure not just clicks but also good clicks. So there are ways to measure, the total number of engagements of the user with the results, but also whether the user actually found the results or not. The second aspect was the ads and the higher revenue. So what they did was they added keywords. So they did the test with and without keywords, and so the first part was just proprietary versus CSE, and the second part was CSE keywords plus ads. So they had the CSE without keywords and the CSE with keywords. And what they noticed was when they added the appropriate keywords, these were hand-tuned keywords, they actually had 8.5% greater coverage in terms of the ads, as well as much higher cost per click. That is, the ads were actually more relevant potentially to their users, and the RPM went up significantly by about 23%. So they were ecstatic when they actually did this test. And the point of this is that when we add the keywords, it may actually give you the option to actually provide much better monetization if you already have a CSE. So for those of you who actually have CSEs on their sites, you might want to look into this feature and see if it actually helps with your revenues. So I have a few questions to wrap up, and then I can take questions. I just wanted to ask, how many of you in this audience do not have any type of search on your site? I don't believe this, because I've seen lots of sites and lots of lots of the people who actually entered questions into the spreadsheet. Actually had I went and checked out the sites, and they didn't have search on the sites. Now, let me clarify one thing. Some people have structured databases and in terms of their applications, and they have a very structured search. So for example, I think the site we saw today, the travel site, actually has search on their site. Absolutely. So they have like the city that they're traveling from, the city they're traveling to, and so it's a structured search. So I'm not talking necessarily only about that application. I'm talking about free-form search as well. So as an example, if you look at orbitz.com, which is a very popular travel destination in the US, they have their structured search, but they also have a little search box on top, which allows people to just enter free-form queries. So you can actually just go in and type Hawaii. You might not type in you might not know, for example, that you're actually traveling from place A to place B on so and so date, so you're not engaging yet with the application. But you might want to just search for, what's the special on Hawaii, right? And so they have actually created this search experience, which is a combo search experience, both the application, which is their application that they're actually providing, but also a specific search as a navigational tool. So let me ask the question again. How many of you have a free text search box on your site, or don't have a free text search box on your site? Okay, a few more hands. How many of you don't have custom search on your site? I think people are asleep. Okay, let me ask again. How many of you don't have custom search on your site? All right, good. So for those of you who don't have search on your site, or who don't have custom search on your site, I have a request, a homework assignment for you. How many of you have 5 minutes? Come on. How many of you have 5 minutes? You spent 2 hours traveling to this conference. Don't have 5 minutes because of the travel. Okay, no, come on, let me ask you this question. How many of you have 5 minutes to spare? Okay, great. So you have a homework assignment, go look up custom search engine, create one for yourself. Whether it's just for fun, for your own, topic of interest, your favorite Bollywood sites, or, or your special topics of interest, or your universities. In fact, go and check out your universities that you went to and see if they have search on their site. And that's an interesting feedback as well. And I'd love for you to play with it, look up the features, and see if it makes sense for you. And you might see that it's great for your personal use or for your company's use. And in fact, if your company's site doesn't have search on their site, you should really be asking the questions as to why they don't have search as a navigational tool.